certain time, it's got that gal's coming to take a picture of the car. You telling me a man's gonna tell somebody something like that and then kill her? I don't think so.
Now see, what a lot of people fail to remember is Stephen Avery, by these same two arresting officers that did all these searches and collected all these evidence, are the exact same two arresting officers for the false imprisonment for the false sexual assault charges that they arrested him for and gathered the evidence for. So Stephen Avery, in which case now was in prison 16 years, was suing the state of Wisconsin and these two individuals for millions of dollars because of the false imprisonment, which he was winning and was supposed to get paid for, by the way. So how do we know that this Teresa Halbach, who also they don't mention, is related to one of the same arresting officers for both of these cases? How do we know that Teresa Halbach is even dead, or even this? How do we know this Teresa Halbach did not OD on some kind of a legal drug? And as this is going on, because regardless of what these people tell you, this case is set up, and it was set up to make these two cops look better and feel better about themselves, save the state of Wisconsin millions of dollars, and cover up the true reason Teresa Halbach died, with my opinion, is honestly a drug overdose. So you can't tell me these two cops. Listen to this. Okay? Pay attention here, folks. This is reality. This is how dirty the state of Wisconsin really is.
One type and in one position or another for the last 40 years. I have never, ever witnessed a search like was done in this case. You don't just obtain a warrant and that gives you the property for as long as you want. It's the most unprofessional mess I've ever seen. They took over that property for lengths of time that gave the opportunity for evidence to be proved around with. Jesus, you don't go into a place and search it 18 times and keep looking for something unless the only reason you go in a second time is because you believe you missed it the first time. Once the place is cleared, it's normally released back to the person. The key was worthless as far as I was concerned as evidence because of the number of searches. Now, this is a key that was used by her for several years, and they took the key and meticulously scrubbed it for DNA, and that was, at first glance, a good thing. But they came up and represented that the only DNA found on that key was Stephen Avery's. That is patently ridiculous. Any crevices, anything else in that key would have retained her DNA. And for them to be able to say only Stephen's DNA is on this indicates to me that that key was scrubbed clean and his DNA was placed on it.
Some might think, well, our hands were tied. That you got a client who's saying that he's being framed publicly. That's kind of the defense you better go with, or you're contradicting your own client. But
now, we're going to go back, because there's other stuff you need to see that ties in to the nephew. This child, this nephew, is mentally ill. You could tell he's mentally ill. He's slow. Whether it's a learning disability or whatever, it's a combination of learning disability and some kind of mental disability. Obviously, the kid can hardly communicate. He's not intelligent enough to lie about anything unless coerced to lie, which you'll clearly see is what they've done to this poor kid. Hold on here. Let me pause. This is Brandon's handwriting. so-called
Is there anything missing from the statement here? Is Teresa in that statement?
I'm paying attention to what he's telling this kid.
And it's missing. That's not a truthful statement.
They're telling him what's true and what's not true, whether it's true or not. Because they tell him at the end, tell the truth no matter what the truth is. No matter what that truth is.
Why not?
This is how they convince him of this.
Well, that's not true. I was only there for the fighting. Well, I wish that was true.
But it is true.
You're also in the mobile home. Not that able. Just so you're perfectly clear. I want you to testify against Stephen Avery and tell the truth.
He wants them to tell their truth. Not necessarily the truth. It's just their
And
truth.
this is how I can help you.
But only if you tell
But
us,
I can't help you.
unless you
with
tell
those words
our
that you wrote
truth.
down.
You know, unless you tell our truth
Those
and help
words I
convince
can't
your
help
uncle,
you.
we won't help you. So whether it's true or not, you tell us our truth. Listen to what he tells him. This is how he tells him. In simple layman terms. Listen to what he's saying. This is what he's telling this kid.
Let's draw another picture over here of him stabbing her. Let's draw a picture down here of you having sex with her there.
Why is he telling him what to draw?
Okay, let's do this. I'm trying to draw a picture of the bed and how she was tied down. But draw a big size so we can see it.
This is his fucking framework, and then they say they found these images. This is his images. That's what I'm saying, man. This is people are lame if you believe that Avery did that and that Brandon did this shit. It was a frame job. That's for two reasons. The state of Wisconsin money, two arresting officers' original case, and this case, Teresa Hallberg related to the one and the same arresting officer in both cases. Probably died of a drug overdose, and it was perfect timing and convenient for the state of Wisconsin to do this. Because the state of Wisconsin does this stuff. The state of Wisconsin is the worst offender of the law in the history of the United States. I say that may be exaggeration on my point. I went to prisons for 3 grams of marijuana because they didn't get the bogus rumped-up charges they were looking for. So they convicted me of Class H felony manufacturing delivery of marijuana. 200 to 1,000 grams. My plants were barely 2 inches tall, 7 of them, no THC in them yet, and probably weighed less than 2
He's
grams.
also prepared a document for me, and it'll be up to you if you want a copy or not.
And I've known people in prison. I got in prison for arson because his bottle rocket went under a porch across the street. His little 2-year-old knocked his soda bottle over, started an abandoned house on fire. 3 years for arson, lost his case.
We want to give you that chance. We've had the opportunity to look at the evidence in the case, and even your last statement, there's some areas that we may want to address because they don't seem to necessarily add up. Do you understand that?
You cut her hair off? Yeah. When that happened? In the bedroom? Well, what'd you cut the hair off with? The night you guys found it in the garage? Well, that makes sense. Possible. You took her out to the garage and that's when you got the knife.
See, they were telling him his story. He had his story mixed up. It's not what they told him to say. Now he's telling him what to say.
Explain how that can be.
The statement has some flaws in it, and it wasn't how they wanted him to write the statement. They're trying to tell him, redirect him, tell him how to write it.
Why don't you just tell us you did? Brendan. Why did you ask them to come here?
Because his attorney, which is the public pretender working for the DNA, convinced him of writing this letter. Convinced him of the statement. Told him it don't matter if it's the truth. Just write us our truth. Basically how he said it, but not in those exact words. Your truth will not get you out of trouble. Our truth will. That's how he said it, basically. 3.5 hours, Mark and Tom, two arrested pieces of shit in both cases.
If you truly say you'll tell your mother the truth about this, okay? Are you going to do that? Yeah. When are you going to do that? Tonight. Probably a good idea. Probably tell her.
Now, see, I don't mean to turn this into an anger issue. I just been dealing with the state of Wisconsin's dirty politics for too long. I've you know, it's sad that the world has come to this kind of thing where people are so gullible, even with Donald Trump. Government don't want Trump there for one plain simple reason. Our government is dirty. It's been dirty, and it's been dirty for years, since Kennedy, since the mafia and the government killed and assassinated Kennedy with Jack Ruby and fucking Marilyn Manson, the whole fucking thing behind it, Castro, all that shit that tied into it. If you really research history, you would understand that I'm just not a paranoid lunatic. This is really happening, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want Trump in office for a simple reason, because Trump wants to give the power back to the American people, bring the money back to the United States, and people nowadays believe anything media tells them. Because a lot of people will make statements against somebody like Trump and run with it and say, yeah, he did it, and we don't like him, he's dirty, he's going to ruin our country, because somebody else is saying it because they heard it from the media. People nowadays want to be like everybody else, do what everybody else is doing just to be popular, and don't even have a clue what they're talking about. All these allegations against Trump, look what's happening. They're all being proven false, lies. You know, this all in the name of keeping him out of office. Trump has over his first year in office 289 accomplishments that benefits the United States of America. It's on the internet. It's a fact. Look it up. It's a whole list. I'm telling you. And, you know, but the whole time, all these people hating on Trump because this is the fact that they heard, and they're repeating it because everybody else is saying it, and they believe it because they heard it from someone else is the truth, and they don't even know the facts. They're believing in lies, and they're running with it, and don't even have a clue what they're talking about. Avery, the media works, you know, certain states and media reports with law enforcement, courts, the DOC tells them report and how to report it. They report it to the public believes it because it's on the news. Like with Avery thing here, they plastered on these appeals Avery's picture on the news about his appeal. On the right side of the picture was, I believe, it was Jeffrey Dahmer. On the left was Charles Manson, or vice versa. But either way, why was that necessary? What was that comparison? Putting Stephen Avery's picture in the middle of Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson's photographs, which had nothing to do with the Stephen Avery appeal. Why was that necessary? I'll tell you why. To put that image in people's head that Avery's a monster. Everything the state says is the truth. Who cares if he gets out? Brandon, he's a monster too. This is the image they want to paint to you because you're going to believe it. Because you're gullible. The people of Wisconsin developed this thing a long time ago called "There's Nothing I Can Do About It." That's the problem with the United States today, people. And, you know, it's just, nobody can do it. You know what this country was built on? This country was built on debating, basically debate. People got together and they debated on how to run the United States. They debated on certain things about the community. They had debates. They came to an agreement that everybody could agree with, and that's how they did things. Nowadays, nobody can do anything about anything, so the government just takes over and does what it wants. The government's for the government, not for the people. They want to bleed us and lock us up, put us in prison like they did to Avery, all in the name of money. The prison systems are not losing money. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If the prison systems were actually losing money, you think they'd be going out of their way to build more prisons, to make new laws to lock more people up if they were losing so damn much money? You mean their little decisions they throw out there, how much they're going broke over the prison systems, but at the same fucking time they're throwing it back in your face that we need more prisons because now we're creating these new laws making stuff illegal and we need more prisons because we're going broke because of the prison systems. Are you serious? You believe that shit? You believe that nonsense, that roundabout talking? They're not broke. They're not going broke because the prisons are making money off the prisons. That's the only reason a business would want to build more businesses to make more money for that business. Do you think? Wow, gee, folks. Sorry you're all so ignorant. Sorry y'all can't see past what's the word go. Sorry when you're driving down the road you don't see what's around you. It's, people like always sit there and say it's nothing they can do about it. They framed Avery. They're wrong about Trump. Man, you people need to get a life because Wisconsin's dirty. Judge Morrison in Maryland, Wisconsin is an alcoholic, drunken driving, drunken disorderly, all this nonsense constantly. And he's a judge. He gets away with it because he's a judge. So it is what it is. You got child molester DAs, Bray Allen. You got fucking dirty, dirty politics everywhere.